Hey everybody, it's Sean with Southern Audacity. Now, today I've got to share something with you. I got something new and I'm about 2 months overdue on sharing this with you all, but today is the day and I've got to show you. Can you see it? This is the Tajima Sai 8-needle embroidery machine from Juki. It is from what the salesperson explained to me. This is a 8-needle embroidery machine created by Tajima, but it's marketed or packaged or whatever for Juki. However that goes. But it is 8 needles. It has a max frame of 8 by 12, which truly is not much bigger than what I have right now with the VE 2200. It has a 7 by 12 hoop or 7 by 11. I can't remember, but this is the new machine that I got. I did get it about 2 months ago, but I hadn't had time to do a good video or a detailed video. So I decided today is going to have to be the day. It might not be the greatest video, but I have been using it and it works wonderfully. It does have a max speed of 800. I forgot what the max speed is on my VE 2200, but I don't run anything at max speed. But it has, of course, 8 needles. It has a hat hoop, and this was my main reason for getting this, and everything is still down here in this box, but there is a hat hoop that is the cylinder type hat hoop, and I did get extra frames with the kit. And then these green frames are not frames that come with the kit. I bought these from Hirsch Industries. They are the retailer for Tajima machines in North America. And then I got this 8 by 9 mighty hoop because I wanted to see how the mighty hoops work, and this works fine with it. So back to this, and just in case you're wondering, yes, I do still have that VE 2200. She is not going anywhere. I did, however, sell my PE 770 to my sister because my niece wants to learn how to sew. So let's just look over a couple of things. It has a USB port over here that you can import your designs. It has a USB port back here. This little contraction is not part of the machine. This is a thing I bought from the store, but it's to keep me from putting too much stress, putting the USB drive back and forth into the machine. So you could use the port back here. You could use the port right here on the side of the screen, or you can actually connect it to your computer. It does come with a program called Writer Plus, which I did download it. I looked at it. I probably will never learn it because I'm in the process of learning how to create and digitize with Embroidery, Stitch Artist Level 3, and I don't have time for learning another program. I just can't do it. But anyways, let's turn this on. I do have it plugged into a power strip, and when I get done, I unplug it, and that's why I put the power strip up here. So it'll only be plugged in when I am actually using it. It does come with a toolkit with a bunch of different tools and things. And the thing that threw me off when I first got this machine was when it first turns on, you actually have to put a code in. There is some way that you can override the code. I saw a video on it, but it's a universal code. And let me see if I can get it right while I'm on camera. 09221. No. That's not it. Let me find the passcode. 90221 is what it is. Okay, reset. 90221. That's it. 90221. I'm going to put that on a sticky thing and tape it somewhere. So yes, I do want it to do that. And I'm going to stitch out a design on a kitchen towel. Not even a kitchen towel. It's a hand towel, but I'm going to put a kitchen design on it so that we can see how this baby stitches, okay? So she is turned on. I haven't named her. I never even named my VE 2200. So I probably won't give her a name. Yeah. But anyways, what I'll do now is I'm going to get the setup together so that I can get my towel on the machine, and I'll check back with you in a minute. Alrighty, so you all know my craft table is always a little bit messy or busy, as I say sometimes. This is the 8x12 hoop that I'm gonna use. I really could use the 8x9 Mighty hoop, but this is the hoop that comes with the machine. So for this video, I want to use this machine. And let's see here. There is no purge going on, but my husband's phone has that purge ringtone, and he left it downstairs. So I am going to hoop my stabilizer, because while many things you're not going to be, I can't figure out how to hoop float yet. I will float the towel because it's just literally going to lay on top of here. So I'm going to cut my paper, not paper stabilizer. It is like paper, but it's cut away. Not cut away. It's tear away. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm just a little excited doing this video. So I'm going to hoop this. And let's see here. It's going to sit inside it like this. So I may need to unscrew this to loosen it up a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to tighten it back up. See, that's where I'm using this little screw on this end to tighten it up. And I do want to make sure it is hooped down in there. And this hoop does still give you the nodules so that you can see where your center points are. You know, I like my little center point markings, so you can see them on here. And then there's this one over here on the side, that little nodule there, and the same over here. So I know where my center line is, and we can draw it out. I'm going to use this ruler just to draw a straight line across. And that's far enough. And then this line, line that up. Then I can see it's not perfect, but this is about the center point where I want the center of my design to sit. Now for this, I am seriously just using, I think this was like a $2 or $3 towel, hand towel from Walmart. And that is just for the sake of stitching this and seeing how it does. Seeing how this design does anyways. So I'm going to center it. You see I folded it in half. And then I'm going to put the fold up against my center point, because I want it to be in the center of the towel. And then I'm going to open it up and try to hold that in place down there. Now I am going to pin a little bit because I'm going to have to. You could use a spray on like 505, but I don't like 505 unless I absolutely have to. So I'm going to pin this down here just for it to stay in place. And I'm going to straighten this out a little bit. And before I put any more pins in, I'm going to put my topper on it. Now I do need to make sure that I don't have a whole lot of lint. You can run a lint brush against it after the fact, but in my mind, lint will start getting caught up in your threads and get stuck or be hanging out or something. But this is the bag I keep my water soluble stabilizer in, just because I don't want it to dry out. And so I am going to see how much of this I need. I probably don't need this much, but I'm just going to use that to be sure. I'll sit that there. And I'm going to put the water soluble stabilizer on top of the towel. And then I'm going to just go through and pin it down at the farthest points that I can. I do want to, well, I'm going to do a trace before I actually run the stitches. There is a way to program this machine so that you have to do a trace before you actually stitch your design out. And I do like that. And that way you'll know if it's where you want it. Okay. And I'm going to just put a couple of more pins on the sides just to make sure that this stabilizer stays in place and to make sure the towel stays in place. I'll put some down at the bottom here. I love these pins. One of my stitching besties gave me these pins. I don't know where she got them from, but I love them. And now I'm going to take this one out that I put in first, and I'm just going to bring it to be on top of the water soluble. Okay. So I have the towel on the hoop. Now I'm going to take it to the machine and get the stitching. Okay, so let me check and make sure I do have bobbin thread in there. Yeah, I think that's enough. Okay, so now what's different with this machine from the way you hoop on the home embroidery machines that I have? First of all, I should have switched the towel around, but we're going to roll with this. This should still work. It may be a little bit bumping up against there, but you hoop it on top like this and slide it into place. So let's see, do I have enough of it out of the way? No, so that's not going to work. Let me turn it around. And then in the machine, I'll have to rotate the design. Okay, so let's see here. Just hoping that I'm not blocking you all. Now, I already have my flash drive on here, and this machine takes a DST file where most of the brother machines take a PES. But I'm going to hit this little flower to retrieve my design. It wants to know, am I going to get the design from the USB or from the record or the memory of the machine? We're going from the USB. And it doesn't show you the designs like a picture, the way the brother machines show you. It just shows the folders. And so I do make sure I name my folders so that I can see what it is. So this is the Our Kitchen design that I'm looking for. Gonna hit set. Okay to delete fine stitches? Sure. Now, I put this design together. It's just some different fonts that I lined up to create this saying. So I'm hoping that the jump stitches do cut. I'm not sure if they will or not, but I'm still learning how to create designs and things like that. We'll see what it does. So I already have the colors in here. So the first color is going to be gray, which is going to come off of needle number 7, which is over here. And then the second will be the red. And then the third will be black. And the fourth will be red again. So just so you can see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the needles over there. Then over here you have, let's see here. Am I showing this right? 5, 6, 7, 8. I hope you're able to see that. If not, this is going to be a real wacky video. But let's see here. Everything is how I want it. I'm going to hit set. Tubular 1 is the big tube, and that is the tube that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to hit set again. And now it wants to know, am I going to be lining this design up from the center point? I'm going to use the center point. If you were trying to line it up using like the upper left hand corner, you would hit that and it would start tracing like based off of that area. I want to trace based off of center. And so, or line the design up. I think I said that wrong. But anyways, you'll see what I mean. So the crosshairs, I want to get the crosshairs to where it's in the center of the design. So the next step, I'm going to use these buttons to scoot this design to where it's centered. And I'm just looking at these little nodules that I showed you earlier and looking at where the crosshairs are in here. And I'm sorry you can't see the crosshairs. Let me adjust that. But there are crosshairs right here, like a little laser. And then I'm just using these little nodules on the sides that I showed you earlier so that I can try to line it up. And I'm going to just push the button, the arrow, so that the crosshairs are as close to center as I can find it. Okay. And then also to make sure that it's as perfect as possible as far as centering, you can lift your fabric or your clothing or whatever up a little bit and see where that line is and bump it up against that, and it is centered there. Okay. So I'm good with that. Now it's saying tracing is executed. Yes. It's going to trace it to make sure the design is within in the frame, and it's not going to, the needles won't be bumping out of the frame or bumping the edges of the frame. Okay, so if it wasn't going to be in good range, it would not give me the press start option. Take this off of the stand. It wouldn't give me the press start option. So it is giving me that option. So now I'm going to press start, and hopefully I don't have any thread breaks. Oh, wait, hold on. Stop. Because you know what? I forgot to rotate the design. Yeah. Let me do that. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to stop. I'm going to come all the way back out of this. Okay, to try from the beginning. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to press start. I want to go back. Back again. Back again, and I want to go here so that I can rotate it. Okay, and I literally just want to flip it upside down, so I'm just going to hit this button and it just flips it upside down. Okay, so now that it did start stitching some threads, I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to use my thread seam ripper to try to get those threads out of it. I'm not going to rehoop it or use a new towel or anything. There's not a whole lot of threads in there, so I'm just going to go through and take those threads out. Okay, this isn't the most fun part of making mistakes, but it does happen, so we just roll with it, right? That's what happens because I'm so excited to do this video. It's like, just calm down and breathe, girl. Okay, let's see what it's looking like on top here. Okay, I may not get all of that out. I'm gonna try. So, I'm not sure what will be on the design down here as far as the coloring or which stitches. So I am going to try and get as much of this off as possible. Thankfully, this is just a test, so it's not for somebody else. Okay. And I have pulled the towel off of the stabilizer altogether. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. Gonna put it back on the machine. Okay, so we're back at the machine and I have the design flipped over or turned upside down. I'm gonna hit set again. I don't need to realign it or check for the alignment because it looks like it's pretty much still centered. And I'm gonna hit set. We'll trace it and it'll show if it's gonna be out of bounds or not. Alrighty, so it looks good. I'm gonna hit start and we'll get this stitch in. Now we'll see how it works out. And I do have the speed slowed down to 700 and I'll explain that in a moment. I never run any of my machines at full speed. $13,493 stitches. This machine is a lot louder than the Brother embroidery machines. They don't have this labeled as a commercial machine, but as a semi-commercial. But it seems to just like pick up and go to its max speed immediately. And one thing I think is kind of neat, when you're looking at the screen, it looks like it's basically erasing on the screen the stitches that are already done so that you can see the progress within your design. I always thought that was kind of neat. And this is still needle number 7, which is the first color that I have. And needle number 7 is right here. That's the thread going to needle number 7. You can see how the tension disc rolls or turns as it's going. So I'm going to let it go ahead and finish stitching because we're going to be doing gray for a couple of more letters, and then it'll switch to the red. It's almost finished stitching with the word kitchen, and then it'll jump down and change colors. Now this is where we're at as far as the progress is concerned. And that is needle number 3. You can see on the screen, it shows you the color is the design part is number 2, or the color is number 2, but the needle and color of thread is number 3. I hope that makes sense. So I'll just let that finish stitching out the red. Is done with the red, and it switched to needle number 1. And so I'm going to let this continue stitching, and of course I'll check back in when it's a little further along. Okay, so this is one of the error codes, 291, the upper thread break. And my thread for needle number 1, which is the black thread, appears to be shredding, and it broke. So I'm going to pull this through a little bit, and I just want to make sure that it is still going down its path correctly. Otherwise, I would have to redo that. But I'm going to pull it down a little bit and clip some of it off and rethread it. Now first I need to get it I need to get it through here. And can you all even hear me? I left my microphone over here. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear me well, but I'm pulling it down through, and then there are these little let me see if I could zoom in here. There are some little loops that this needs to go down through. So I need to make sure it does go in there. And the machine does come with a needle threader. However, I don't have any luck with these types of needle threaders. I've bought a few of these from Madam Sew for my regular sewing machine, and I've never been able to use it right. So I just have to do it like this and pull it through. Now I'm going to pull some of it past, put the guard down. Bring this up, and I slide it through here and clip some of it off. Now I'll hit the reset button, and let's see, I'm going to just back it up about 10-20 stitches, just to be sure that maybe I'll go back 30, just to be sure that I'm not missing anything, because I don't know if it's stitched further out before it realized that the thread broke or what. So now I'll let it continue stitching and see how it does. see, still stitching along. Almost done with the wording. And now it's on the last thread, which is that red for those little scroll bars or whatever they're called. That's going to go down the sides. Alrighty, so we are finished. It gives us that crazy noise to let us know that we're done. And I'm just going to hit no because we're not going to sew this again. And I'm just going to slide this off. So mine is where I got to try to figure out how to get that thread out. It stitches really good. Okay. Not sure why that didn't get cut. Maybe that's where, yeah, that's where the thread broke, I believe. And there was probably too much of a tail hanging. So that can just be clipped off. But, overall, very different from using a regular single needle. I didn't have to do any thread changes. Yeah, I had to rethread one needle because of a thread break, but that was very minor. I'm going to take this off the hoop and get it cleaned up. Alrighty, so I'm going to just take these straight pins out, and I think I still keep calling them needles, but yeah, they're straight pins. Take that off. This is just that water soluble, and because this is for me, I'm not going to go through cleaning it up with the Q-tip and all of that goodness, because this will wash out in the washer. Yeah, I just pulled that. Take the tearaway off. And I will go through and try to get as much of this off as I possibly can, because I don't want this all in my washer and in my dryer. But that is how she did. So in any other scenario, just for using that size of a design, I would use the 8x9 mighty hoop instead of using this bigger hoop. But because this is what comes with the machine, I wanted to actually show stitching with the equipment that comes with it. Okay, so that is it for now. If you have any questions, ask me. I will try to answer. I don't know everything about this machine yet. I am still learning, but I'll take you on that journey with me, okay? Alrighty, so that was my first stitch out on camera with the Juki Tajima Sai 8-needle embroidery machine. I think it did pretty well. What do you all think? It's certainly a lot more convenient to have different needles, and you don't have to go through changing your thread so often. There is a way that you can do more than 8 colors. You just have to hit pause or put a stop in there so that you could change your threads and everything. But we'll get to that down the line. I'll show you all of that. The VE2200 I am keeping. I will still be doing videos using her because she has been good to me, and there are a lot of projects that I just like doing. And so don't worry, don't think that I'm not going to be using it anymore, because until she stops running, I will be using that machine, okay? So that's all I have for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. What else can I say?
Like, share, and subscribe.
He had to do that. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care.